Ayo, what's groovy? It's your boy Michael Trapson, and you're listening to the MJCast. Shimona! Ow!
The following is a presentation from the MJCast, the internet's premier podcast on all things Michael Jackson.
You're listening to the MJCast by MJ fans for MJ fans.
The idea is to innovate, or else why am I doing it?
When I create my music, I feel like an instrument of nature.
You let it create itself, really. I know I do. And I love to entertain. That's one of my favorite things. I love my fans. Just simply Michael Jackson.
Welcome to the MJCast, your source of news and discussion on the King of Pop.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 109. Today we've got the Michael Trapson special.
So excited to be talking to Trapson. Trapson is a superstar in the MJ world, making amazing tribute videos to Michael Jackson. We got Captain EO, What If Michael Jackson Was a Mumble Rapper, all kinds of amazing videos. I love Trapson. I'm so glad he can finally be on the MJcast to chat about all that he does. We're also here with Jankins of Moonwalk Talks, fellow MJ podcaster from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome back to the MJcast. Trapson, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, guys. You know, all support, all love for the MJ community.
That's it, and welcome back to the show, DJ Jankins.
Hello. You know, I love you guys, and it's so good to be back. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on and join us in our season 5. It's been a little while since your last visit, but we are happy to have you. And yes, Michael Trapson, thank you so much for joining us. Whereabouts are you calling in from today, Trapson?
I'm calling in from Philadelphia, man. We out in Pennsylvania. Philly.
Philly in the house, Tulsa in the house, and Brisbane and Perth from down under. It is a international MJcast episode today. Now, we've been talking with Michael Trapson for a little while in the background trying to schedule this, and we're so happy that it's finally happening. There's been some pretty big releases on your video channel recently, and we cannot wait to talk about those in the show with our listeners. But first up, Michael Trapson, could you tell us about your early life? Like, where did you grow up and how did you first get into creating music?
Well, I first started in Gary, Indiana. No, I'm playing. But, you know, I grew up in Philadelphia, man. I used to play drums as a kid. I grew up playing drums. That got me into music. My dad was in a band. All my uncles and family members, they're kind of like the Jacksons in his own right. So I was always surrounded by music. I grew up skateboarding. Then I started rapping. And I was always always make comedy. Like I was always the jokester, the class clown, in school. So one day I came up with an idea when I got off of work. And it was just to I don't know, I was under the influence of, some groovy trees. And someone told me, what if Michael Jackson was a rapper? And I never really seen it done before. So I decided to make a funny little video. And, by the powers of the internet, it went viral in a week. And, they was asking for a part 2. I gave him a part 2, Billie Jean and I Dab. And now that's one of those songs that's kind of like a gift and a curse. With everybody, I love Billie Jean and I Dab. I'm like, yes. That was a funny song. I wasn't really, that serious with it, but I was serious, but with the meaning, with the verses, but I wasn't, it was supposed to be like a fun song. But yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia.
So you were basically like, firstly, mainly a rapper, right? And then you just kind of decided, I'm going to do the Michael Jackson thing. Were you recording original music? I mean, because you used to go by OJ Kano, I think it was, right?
Yeah, I was OG Kano. Yeah, I was a rapper, but I was always an MJ fan, but I just never, knew how to. I told myself I wanted to do an MJ tribute before I turned 25. I wanted to do something, a tribute to Thriller before I was older than Michael Jackson during Thriller, but I never knew what I wanted to do. But yeah, I've always done music, and so that was kind of like my introduction to the Trapson stuff.
Got it. And take us back a little bit about being a Michael Jackson fan. What are your earliest memories of MJ?
Oh, my first memory of MJ when I was about 2 or 3, and my parents had on the Dangerous concert, And the first thing I said was, "Hey, mommy, who's that lady on TV?" And she's like, "That ain't a lady, that's Michael Jackson." I was like, because I was confused because he had long hair and lipstick, So as like 2 or 3 years old, you think that's what girls wear, but I was just so amused by the way he was singing and dancing. And then I remember that same night, I had a dream about just some flashes from like the history. Cause I had the history tape too. So I remember dreaming about being on like a hill with like a sunset, like an orange sunset, and seeing like Michael Jackson walking with kids. Must have been like 3 or 4 years old. I had a dream, and I heard like the history music and like the songs from the history tape playing in the background. Then I see Michael Jackson's big face, like a big face Michael Jackson across the sunrise. So those are my earliest dreams and memories of Michael Jackson, going all the way back.
So what about Michael's music and him as a performer made you want to transition from your own music, your own original music, to something inspired and sort of tributing to Michael?
Well, like I said, it started off as like, okay, because I got mad respect for Michael Jackson, so I never wanted to like, use his image and try to like, claim it as my own. So I started off as just doing little jokes, like joke videos. It was never supposed to even be serious. But then when it got the attention that it got, and people was telling me like, "Yo, bro, you can really like, go ahead and go forward with this and be like the voice for Michael Jackson, and be the voice that we wish Michael Jackson could have been at some point." Like when everybody was talking down on Michael Jackson, accusing him of all this BS that was going on back in the 90s and stuff, we sometimes we wish that Michael Jackson would just stood up and be like, "You know what, F y'all, I'm innocent." You know what I mean? Instead of being so soft spoken. So that's where Trapson come in. You know what? Trapson get away with that because it's like the alter ego of what Michael Jackson could have been.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that if, back in the day, if Michael Jackson would have maybe taken a harder stance on a lot of the things that were going up against him, instead of just kind of rolling over and letting it happen, I do think that a lot of people probably wouldn't have messed with him as much later on. So yeah, I do agree with you on that aspect as well.
And it's a what if Michael Jackson situation. It's not, this is how Michael Jackson is. This is not, I'm trying to change the legacy. This is a what if scenario. It's like, okay, what if this would have happened? Things might have been different, or there's like an insight to see how it could have been.
It's fun to watch when you think of it that way. Like yesterday I watched the what if Michael Jackson was a stoner video. It's just a whole
loud. That Jones.
It's a whole lot of fun. And so talk to us about when you started the Trapson character years ago. How has the character evolved over time?
Well, when I look back at my videos, I'd be like, "Damn, I was moving a little stiff there," because I was never a dancer. I danced a little bit. I mean, of course, I knew how to moonwalk when I was 8, and I knew how to do like the Billie Jean routine, when I was a kid. But I never really studied dancing. So people, encourage me. Like they say, "Hey, if you're gonna be Trapson, you need to like, learn how to dance a little better." And I'm a tall guy, so it's not really, it's a little harder for me to make the moves look as crisp as somebody who's like, 5'9" or something. So I definitely noticed a change in, the way I do my hair, makeup, just the overall message I'm trying to present now. Because before I just did little jokes here and there, but now I'm like, okay, Michael Jackson was all about the kids and inspiring the kids. So now one of our latest releases, we had remade the Pepsi commercial, and the one with Alfonso Ribeiro in 1984, but we did it with a twist. If you see the video, instead of using soda, we try and encourage kids to drink water. You feel me? So I'm always trying to like take what Michael Jackson did, put my own little twist to it, and make you think about it later on.
1984. What does that mean for Michael Trapson?
See, that's a good question, because to me, in my personal opinion, like I think Michael was at his best overall in 1984. Now, keep in mind, I grew up on Dangerous and History. Those are my favorite eras because that was that's what I remember Michael Jackson as growing up. But after the whole legacy has been laid out, after even after Michael Jackson's passed, my favorite era was Bad and Dangerous growing up. And but once I got to watch his whole legacy in retrospect, I realized that, in my personal humble opinion, Michael Jackson was the most grooviest, the most magical, and to me the most happiest between Off the Wall and the bad era. And I just felt like when I watched Victory or anything from Michael Jackson in 1984, you just feel a sense of magic. It was before, you know, all the crazy allegations. It was before, you know, some of his, you know, transformations and stuff. It was before people was really, you know, back in '84, Michael Jackson was like a god. You know, you really couldn't say nothing bad about Michael Jackson back then. He was on top of the world. He was the most famous back then. That's when he met, you know, Ronald Reagan at the White House. Like people tend to forget, especially a lot of kids in this generation. They don't realize how famous and how big Michael Jackson was when Thriller came out, because, you know, they so used to just Michael Jackson and Trial era, or Michael Jackson, you know, Dangerous and Black and White. So they don't realize the impact that Thriller had back in those days.
He sure had the glow then, that's for sure.
Yes, he had the glow.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said, you know, I think the era where Michael was creatively, I don't know about at his peak creatively, but certainly putting out the most prolific sort of amount of music would have to be between, you know, the Jackson's Destiny period all the way through to the end of Thriller. So like late 70s to sort of mid 80s. It's just, you're never going to see in another artist ever, I reckon, another run of albums that consistent every couple of years.
Right. And later era was a great too. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, Man and Mirror, the whole Bad album, that stuff touches my soul. But I just love the grooviness of, you know, how, and not just Michael Jackson, 1984 period. I love the movies that came out: Beat Street, Terminator, Breakin'. What was it? Not Weird Science came out a little later, but just the movies that came out around that time. Just the music, like the early hip hop, Kumo D, Furious 5. Like I just love that 1984 swag.
Purple Rain.
Everybody back then. Purple Rain, you know, Prince was pop. You know what I mean? It was a really good time. And not to mention my parents also got married in 1984. You know, they're still together to this day. So something about 1984 has always been like, you know, special. Even as a kid, before I was, you know, like before I thought Michael Jackson was my favorite in that era, I always just loved something about those years and pop culture, period.
Yeah, you've made quite a few MJ inspired videos at this point. At what point do you think that it really clicked for you that this was the main direction that you wanted to go? Was it a particular video or a particular moment that you had doing the Trapson character?
It was definitely when I did Billie Jean and I Dab. That was a very interesting time on social media, period, because I had never seen 1 million views or even 100,000 views on anything before. So when I did that video, that video reached a 1 million views in 8 hours. Like I went to work.
Whoa.
I went to work, put it on Facebook, and by the time I got off work, it was already over 1 million views.
Wow.
And I ain't gonna lie, that feeling kind of made me sick a little bit to know that, you know, 1 million people just saw me in 8 hours and they judging me watching, you know, this character. And some people think it's disrespectful. Some people think I'm weird. Some people think it's the greatest thing they've ever seen in their life. So it was a weird feeling to, you know, at first. And, you know, it's really hard to explain because, you know, you could say, oh, you got 1 million views, but it's 1 million people watching you and judging you. So you kind of feel that energy all at once, you know. I ain't getting 1 million views in a day no more. At times it's changed, you know, but yeah, I think that was the time where I realized, you know, I can probably do something with this character and like kind of be the voice, be what I want to see. You know, I want to see more of 84 Michael. That period was so short. That Victory era was very short. So I want to kind of extend that a little bit in my own little way. And plus, you look around, you know, the majority of Michael Jackson tribute artists, you don't really see anybody tributing, you know, the Jackson 5 era or the rock with, you know, the Triumph era. The Thriller era Victory is always either bad, dangerous, or history.
Why do you think that is? Because I've always wondered that. Every time you see a tribute artist, they're dressed up in sort of dangerous history-looking era. Why is, you know, Off the Wall and Thriller not as recognized by tribute artists?
Most tribute shows, they have expectations. So when you think about Michael Jackson, you're not thinking about the Jacksons. You're thinking about Michael Jackson as a whole solo career. So I guess you can't just be out there looking like Thriller era when you still have to perform Man in the Mirror, Blood on the Dance Floor, Jam. You know, Michael Jackson's looks change so much. So you kind of got to keep up with him. And another thing is that a lot of the majority of tribute artists are not African American. A lot of them are, white or maybe Hispanic or from Europe somewhere. A lot of big ones. So they are naturally, lighter skinned, so they can easily portray Michael Jackson in a dangerous era or Michael Jackson in a history era. It will probably look kind of silly if they try to, put blackface on that'd be a whole other situation. A lot of people get mad about that. They don't want those problems, but I guess there's not a lot of African American tribute artists, period.
In this climate, the way that everything is going right now, there's no way that even a tribute artist of Hispanic descent could put on blackface. It would be a disaster. It was like right now, everybody's insane about that stuff. So
and you gotta be really, really careful when it comes to Michael Jackson, man. Mm-hmm. But you know what's crazy? Like, they don't care. I mean, I don't care. My thing is, if you're gonna do Michael Jackson, you're gonna do Michael Jackson. But what makes me mad is they'll get mad if a white person gets in blackface to portray Michael Jackson. But nobody's saying nothing about all the black people paying themselves to be white to be like Michael Jackson.
Well, I mean, because Michael Jackson's still black, so it's like, he just got light skin. I also think another reason why a lot of artists go towards the more dangerous in history Michael Jackson is because his look was a lot more exaggerated at that point, and it's at least I would think it would be easier to kind of pull off that makeup and the hairstyles than it is to actually pull off because he did have a more natural look during the Thriller days. So yeah, that's to me, I think that's probably another reason why folks go towards the dangerous history versions.
Right, and a lot of people's favorite songs are like Smooth Criminal, or favorite dance routines: Smooth Criminal, Dangerous, Jam, Black or White, The Way It Made Me Feel. You have to, Michael Jackson looked good in the bad era. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. People like having a long hair. That's cool, I was one of those people. As growing up, I thought the bad era was the coolest looking Michael Jackson ever. He had the long hair. I'm naturally light. I'm a light brown skin, so it kind of looked like my skin tone. So I kind of could relate to the way he looked in the bad era as a kid. So, and I think that was another reason why the reason Michael Jackson changing, him having vitiligo, and it's the whole fact that he did change. It reached every kind of person in the world, just by his skin color changing, he was able to resonate, with people, and they can relate to him because they see themselves in him.
Yeah,
I'm just off skin color and music alone, so it was another way for them to touch other people without him probably even realizing that.
Mm-hmm. I was the same way growing up, man. I'm mixed with black and white, and so when I was younger, I saw him on screen. I'm like, hey, this guy kind of looks like me, You had that same skin tone, and so it made you feel a little closer to him,
Right, so you felt like if you're doing a Michael Jackson movie, you don't look stupid because, Michael Jackson looked like me. I'm saying he was a little lighter and he was a little darker,
Mm-hmm.
So I could pull it off, So, and I asked some of my fellow tribute friends that too, especially ones that are white. I'd be like, yo. Let me ask you, if Michael Jackson's skin never turned light, do you think you'd be a Michael Jackson tribute right now? And 99% of them always get defensive at first. Of course I would. It's not about his color. But I'm like, do you see anybody like that's super duper dark portraying Elvis? No. Or do you see anybody portraying Prince if they're like super, super white? Yeah, I mean, or super black. You gotta really ask yourself, would you really, if Michael Jackson's skin color, if he was still the same way he was during the Jackson 5 era and he never changed, there was no talk about black and white Michael Jackson, he was just black Michael Jackson like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anybody's gonna portray him that wasn't black? It's like do you think somebody is white that's gonna portray Tito or Jermaine?
Exactly.
For a Jackson's biopic, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
So
that's a really good point.
Yeah, and it's not taken away from anybody. It's not trying to come at anybody, but it's a question to think like, damn, this would have never happened. I would have never known these people. I would never had this job. So Michael Jackson's skin changing kind of did open up doors for this a lot of other people. Without when you look at it in the big picture.
How has your MJ look evolved over the few years you've been doing Trapson?
Yeah, I did a comparison video. I did a comparison picture on my Instagram from 2016 when I tried to I did a quick little Pepsi spoof with Carlson bumps in the back of me, and I turned around and I posted that picture in 2016, and then the one we did this year in 2019, and you can see the look. I'll send you guys the picture. You can see just the differences off that picture. Like my hair was way different. Makeup was way different. I learned so much about makeup and how to pull off the illusion of the Michael Jackson look throughout, through a lot of my tribute friends in the MJ community, like Jeffrey Perez, rest in peace, Lane Lassiter. He the one that taught everybody how to do, a lot of the makeup tricks. Really, it was Jeffrey Perez that showed me a lot, about how to do a lot of that stuff. And he's another guy that went viral as well.
Do you perform live as well?
Yeah, I'm actually about to do a show in Hawaii around Halloween time. Be flying out. It's my first time going to Hawaii, so yeah, I definitely perform. I perform Trapson songs. I do some, MJ, also, tribute shows. Once in a while I go out there, just do a straight Michael Jackson set, no Trapson, and then a lot of times I go to the club, whatever, I just do some Trapson songs. Depends on what the venue is and what the vibe is and what the people want. I try to do everything, man. I try to do it all.
Wow.
Now, I've dealt with booking Michael Jackson tribute artists before. Do you have any interesting stories of doing some of the different shows or dealing with the promoters, crowds, anything like that?
Yes, yeah. I've been to a couple of shows. I've been to some cool shows, man. I've been to a couple cities where I go there. They all just they know all the songs. I was like, wow, you guys really like this stuff. It's amazing to see that. I've been to some places where they was like, oh, who is this guy? I've been to places where, obviously back when I first started, people would try to, finesse me. They try to get me to do stuff for free. And I learned, you can't be doing that anymore, after a while. And people try to get over you, so you got to make sure everything is in contract, everything is in writing. Otherwise, you're going to see a nice day at court. You try to get over a trap, so you might get smoked out real quick. But that's another monster in itself. This the business. Mm-hmm. It's all fun and games on video and everything, but when it comes to the business, that's when things can be cool, but sometimes it get hectic, and depending on who the promoter, who the booking agent are, it can kind of take away from the fun. So that's why I'm happy I have my platform that I have now, where I am my own boss. I make my own, I make my own money. I don't have nobody telling me what I can or can't do.
Do they ever come to you and ask you to do a specific set of songs, or are you able to mainly kind of do your own your own?
Yeah,
playlist?
I basically do my own thing. I do my own thing. But I always ask them do you want? I ask them firsthand, do you want a Trapson or a Jackson show? What are you asking for? And they're like, no, we want a Trapson show. Or some people might be like, oh, we want a Jackson show. Come there, just do Michael Jackson. Make sure you do Billie Jean and stuff. As long as you do Billie Jean, you can do whatever else. I'm like, okay, cool. That's pretty easy. My version of the Michael Jackson show will be a lot different than most tributes because they gotta do more work. And I give them credit. If you're doing any era past Thriller, you have to do more choreography. You have to do Dangerous. You might have to do Ghost. Remember the Time. Smooth Criminal, Jam, a lot of big choreography sets. When my stuff is more, Michael Jackson in the early years, yeah, he had kind of minor choreography with his dancing, but it was more just grooving out. Most of the sets back in the 70s and 80s were just grooving. He's grooving. But even when he performed Beat It on the Victory Tour, it was barely any choreo. Mm-hmm. It was just him and Marlon up there just grooving at the end. They kind of the choreo for 2 seconds. But even I don't even consider Billie Jean as a choreo. It's just it's not choreo. It's more just thought out grooviness. That's what I call it. It's this thought out grooviness that Michael Jackson did on stage. That Jam choreo, that Smooth Criminal, those are intense, man. So I give those guys that to go out there and that's what they have to do. And makeup, and wigs, and trying to pull that look off. That's it. I give it to them. I couldn't do that. I've tried I did a remake of the Panther dance, and that was my first time really trying to do the Dangerous era, and it was funny, but I pulled it off though. I definitely did it, but. I don't think I'll be doing that for a long time. I just feel more comfortable in the 84 groove.
Well, I mean, you've explained really well how your tribute gig differs from some other tribute artists, but what about how a Trapson gig differs from a Michael Jackson gig?
Well, that's the thing. That's a good question, because when I'm Trapson, I have to kind of be on the line, kind of draw the line between, okay, can I go too ratchet on this show, or I have to give them basically a little bit of everything. I got to give them some, okay, I'm a turned up, rapper in this day and age, but also got to give them a couple moves in between and be a little smooth with it, and have that Michael Jackson swag. Otherwise, I'm just a dude out there rapping just with Michael Jackson face on. That can get corny real quick, but I try to give them a little bit of both. But at the same time, depending on if I'm doing like a club, I don't really gotta do too much. There's not like a big stage or anything, so I go out there, just turn up, have some fun, dance with a couple girls, and interact with the crowd a little bit, take pictures, and that's pretty much it. I actually want to take this a little bit further. Like, Trapson is cool, but my idea for the most be an epic show would be to have every era of Michael Jackson perform at the same time. Like, we're kind of doing that now with this. I don't know if you guys seen the MJ Avengers.
I was watching it literally yesterday, and I shared it with our group chat. I absolutely love the Wanna Be Starting Something one. It is incredible.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like my part because, my belt kept falling off. I was mad she put it up. But yeah, it was just like something we've been trying to do. Just like, I always had this vision. We need every era. You need as many as you can. And I feel like that was a good starting point, and people are now starting to catch on to like, different eras, and I'm like, that can spark up a good show. Me as an MJ fan, just not even being Trapson, but me just being an MJ fan, if I went to an MJ tribute show, I want to see multiple eras. I don't want to just see Dangerous. I don't just want to see Victory. I want to see it all. I want to see Bad. I want to see Off the Wall. I want to get a piece of everything. I want to leave that show like, damn, I really enjoyed myself there. That was a really, really dope show. I saw all the Michael Jackson I need to see, and I want to watch it again. Because stuff like that, you gotta come to twice. You gotta watch it twice. Because you gotta focus on different people, But it's an idea that hasn't really been done yet.
I agree.
I don't understand why.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I'd never thought of it until I saw that video of the Wanna Be Starting Something, and I was like, that is awesome. Imagine having every MJ of every era on stage together, interacting with each other, performing the same song in their, the different costumes from the different eras. It's fantastic. Are you guys talking about maybe doing a show like that?
Well, yeah, we definitely been considering that, but the only problem is a lot of people, they live all over the world. Like the girl that posted it, Krista MJ, she's a fantastic dancer, but she lives all the way out in Finland, so that's kind of complicated to get her, to rehearse a lot. But the great thing about Michael Jackson is that we all know the routines. And another great thing is that we're all friends, and there's no ego. That's one thing I told everybody in the beginning. I said, if we're going to dance together, we're going to rock out together, I need everybody to put their ego, keep that shit at the door. Because when it comes to this, in order for this to work, you can't worry about who is better than who. You can't worry about who looks more like Michael Jackson, who dance. Like, you can't worry about none of that. Just come out here, have fun, and the people gonna talk regardless. They gonna say, "Oh, I like her better," or "I like him better," "Oh, he's the best." You can't let none of that get to you. The whole point is to give them a visual. Of course, they're gonna compare. Even if they put 5 actual Michael Jacksons, if they got 5 eras of the real Michael Jackson on stage at one point, some people be like, "Oh no, I like Dangerous way better than I like Off the Wall." So you're gonna have those people anyway. So, but that's the good thing about it. And there's no ego. Even me, like I don't act like I'm better than anybody because I got more views or anything like that. That's never been a problem with our situation.
So when you look at yourself as an artist, do you think of yourself more as an actor, a tribute artist, or a musician?
I'm all of that. Definitely all of that, because I'm definitely an actor now, because I then did a couple short films now with the whole Trapson thing. Definitely a musician. Like I said, I play drums. I record my own vocals. I record all my own music in my house. And I edit all my videos too, so I'm an editor as well.
Wow.
Whoa.
What has the wider public reception been to your videos? Who do you see as like your main audience? Is it like only Michael Jackson fans, or is it more of like the newer generation that's just kind of, that kind of falls into like the new music, the new trends? Like, who do you feel is your main audience?
My main audience is definitely Michael Jackson fans, but it's also a mixture too. It's like a lot of people obviously love Michael Jackson and they love me too, but it's been a lot of people that some people are not even trap fans. Like, some people are Michael Jackson fans and not even trap music fans, but now they like trap music because of me. Or some people weren't even Michael Jackson fans, and now that I've been so crazy, doing traps, and now they made them want to go back and watch Michael Jackson, and now they love Michael Jackson again. And a lot of the kids that follow me, they didn't even know who Michael Jackson was. And that's crazy. It's scary to think that we're in that time now where there's just a generation who wasn't even exposed to Michael Jackson. Now, we grew up, we grew up with Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson's been gone for 10 years now, so these new kids are like 10, 12, 13. They're not really they can't constantly remember Michael Jackson. So now it's up to us, the older people to, put them on to who Michael Jackson was. And what's a better way than give them, the Motown era? Like, go back and watch Michael Jackson from this era. Go back and watch it from that. Go from the start and then go all the way to the end, and then you can appreciate the whole legacy as a whole. So I think that gives me the most satisfaction when people, mothers or fathers, they'll hit me up and say, yo, man, my kids didn't know who Michael Jackson was, but they watched the video, and then we start watching the real Michael Jackson, and now they're fans of both. Man, thank you for that. You introduced them to, Michael Jackson. So that's always cool.
I don't like violence, but if you cross me, you will get smoked. I'm kicking through the door, but I ain't the police. I know you see my glow shining right through me. I'm kicking through the door, and all these eyes on me. If you looking for the glow, it's right inside of me. Look, I got all this glow, 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 I got it all in me. You looking for racks, yeah. Diana trying to get a check, yeah. I just get respect, yeah. It don't matter where I'm at, yeah. Oh no, I'm looking down on police. They ain't got nothing on me. Sony still coming for me. They ain't got nothing on me. I got the key to the streets. Got a little baddie on me. Baby girl looking like vanity. The purple rain man gon' be mad at me. I don't know why them boys mad at me. Middle fingers to my enemies. Your girl love me for my energy. She telling me that you a hella weak. I'm about to go to her vicinity. You should go get a paternity, yeah. You'll get it back in Neverland, yeah. I'ma change the world with this glow right here. I'm kicking through the door, but I ain't the police. I know you see my glow shining right through me. I'm kicking through the door, and all these eyes on me. If you looking for the glow, it's right inside of
Hi, this is Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffett, drummer for Michael Jackson and the Jacksons, and you're listening to the MJCast.
So recently I had a diehard fan of MJ ask me about Michael Trapson. I'm sure that you deal with this. Some fans might see some of your videos, or they might think that you're trying to be disrespectful towards Michael Jackson. People who don't know you may think that you are trying to like make fun of him or making jokes at his expense. I mean, we really, really like your videos. But of course, what would you say to the people that think that you're either kind of taking the piss out of Michael Jackson, you know?
I tell them to go back and really watch what you just saw. The main flack I've got over this whole Trapson experience was the Michael Jackson was it. And that was the biggest controversy, because it was supposed to be, you know, this killer clown that lured kids into the video. So, but if you watch the video, I lured in myself. I played white Michael Jackson, like trial era Michael Jackson, luring in Trapson. But the whole point was supposed to be that it wasn't supposed to be Michael Jackson. It was supposed to be Pennywise taking the shape of Michael Jackson. Because if you watch it, Pennywise was a shapeshifter. So he took the shape of Michael Jackson to lure me in, because he knew I would go in the sewer to reach for my glove if Michael Jackson was in there. That was the whole point. So people think that I'm trying to make fun of Michael Jackson. No, I make fun of everybody. You know, if you're my friend, I'm gonna make fun of you. If you're my friend, you're gonna make fun of me. Like, that's how I joke around. And I look at Michael Jackson as like family. You know, as if, you know, he was like our musical father. In a sense, he wrote his music was like the soundtrack to our lives. So I feel like he connected with everybody, so I feel like he has a very deep connection with me. I love Michael Jackson so much, I can make fun of the stuff. I make fun of everything. I make fun of things that I like. You know, I could like a jacket that I'll make fun of. I'll buy a Victory jacket, like the AMA's jacket. And I look at it, I like a red condom or something right now. I'll just make fun of myself right now. I'm just playing around. I'm always joking around, and it's not to be mean. It's just to have fun. Michael Jackson was a prankster. Michael Jackson liked to have fun, and I'm pretty sure that he'd have found my videos hilarious and probably wanted me to write a song for him or something.
I totally agree. I think that MJ had a great sense of humor, and I do believe that we should be able to kind of make fun, you know, with Michael Jackson. Like last night, me and my wife were watching the Bad music video, you know, and it's like, of course, I've seen it a million times, but you watch it, and you're like, how did this guy get away with, you know, or even on Beat It, he's just trying to act like a hard ass. And it's like, how did Michael Jackson, how did he get away with this, you know? And it's just, it's fun to kind of, you know, think about these things. And I don't understand why people can't take the jokes, because if it comes from a sincere love of the guy, you know, then I don't see any problem with, you know, kind of having a fun time with these.
Right. I can see if I was like somebody who wasn't even a Michael Jackson fan, like kind of just playing like how Eminem did in his video where his nose is falling off. You don't see me talking about my nose falling off. You know, well, I did do a cartoon where somebody put that in there, but these guys are Michael Jackson fans. They did a whole cartoon, Bruno Mars versus Michael Jackson, and in one part Bruno Mars shot his nose off. It wasn't the worst thing, man, in the world. It was fun. And then he beats up Bruno Mars. It was kind of back and forth. But you don't see me talking about child molestation. You don't see me talking about I bleached my skin. You don't see me talking about I'm gonna get you. You know, I try to portray Michael Jackson as if he was the man, and especially my Trapson character as if, you know, the media try to portray Michael Jackson as a homosexual pedophile, and I'm like, no, that ain't what it is. My man Michael Jackson loved chicks. And you're going to see Trapson with some girls just to remind you that, yeah, my man could have bagged your chick. And all that. Because they think he ain't like girls, man. You gotta kind of stand up for him in that sense.
Yeah, I do appreciate that you do that. A lot of your lyrics have that, you know, that you 100% back MJ, and I love that about that.
Right, and if you listen to all the songs, I say Conrad Murray was a liar. He was just the fall guy. I'm the king of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say stuff like that, like little Easter eggs, like that. You can't not be an MJ fan saying stuff like that. You know, you can't, and people don't listen. And most of the time, the people that don't like it, they usually like little 13-year-olds or little 12-year-olds, with the little MJ fan accounts. Saying Michael Trapson said that Michael Jackson was this and all. Like, no, I didn't, man. Go watch the whole video and you see for yourself. Like, You know, but I usually don't pay no attention to it because when I first started off, I got a lot of hate anyway, so I'm used to the hate. And if you're not getting any kind of hate, then you're not doing something right. So
that's so true. Well, you mentioned, you've had to deal with some haters. You mentioned the It parody video that you did, but you've also done videos like Fuck Wade.
Right.
So, and some of your earlier vids. So, what is the reception to some of those, I guess, in a sense, more controversial videos? What has the reception been to something like Fuck Wade?
Oh yeah, that was probably one of the best videos I could have ever done, to be honest, because it was powerful. It stood for something. It stood in defense of Michael Jackson. It was that voice that a lot of the MJ fans didn't have. They didn't have a platform to say F Wade. They tried it, but these are regular people. They don't have big followings and stuff like that. So now I'm kind of like the savior when it comes to stand up for Michael Jackson, and that song got me closer, got me recognized by the Jacksons. They respect me now for standing up for Michael Jackson at a time when the whole world was turning their back against Michael Jackson. It was like a trend to be cancel Michael. Like, nah, bruh, it ain't that easy. They trying to cancel him, and people forgot that we've been through this shit before. We've been through the media trying to cancel Michael Jackson twice in 93, 2003, and it was actually he tried it 2013 too, Wade. So we've been through this a lot of times. So this is nothing new. The only thing that's different about it is that we have social media involved, and that's trying to tamper people's opinions. And but obviously, what is it right now? It's October now. This happened back in February, March. A few months later, we're not even talking about that whole situation anymore. That's done and over with. So for the people that was getting on that Leaving Neverland train and riding with that side, they look like stupid idiots now because you didn't do any research, and now you realize, oh, that was all a hoax. Michael Jackson's been innocent the whole time. So now it's cool. It's safe to be a Michael Jackson fan again. So that's why when F Wade came out, it wasn't cool when it was like people was like, you're supporting a pedophile. I'm like, no, I'm not. And watch when the truth come out, you guys are gonna look stupid.
Trapson, are there any videos or elements of videos that you've made that now you look back and you wish you didn't have? Is there any point in your career where you think you have gone a little bit too far?
Nah. There was no video I think I've done. There's videos I've done that I wish I could have done better. Like Peter Pan. I did a Peter Pan. That was a rushed video. I just hated it, the way it came out. That was one of my first videos. But no, there's no video where I feel like I actually went too far. Because I don't think I ever do. Going too far to me is saying, it's like saying, I'm Michael Jackson, I touched those kids. To me, that's going too far. Or being Michael Jackson as a transsexual. Something that puts Michael Jackson that's going to hurt his image. Putting Michael Jackson with a couple chicks is actually going to make him, look cool. Put a blunt in Michael Jackson's hand makes it look cool too, makes it look funny. It's funny. Oh, Michael Jackson smoking weed getting high, that's fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, and I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson did smoke some weed. I'm pretty sure he did. If he did, and that's the thing, Michael Jackson did worse things. That's what led to his demise. He did worse drugs than weed. So people are like, that's disrespectful. Weed disrespectful, but propofol isn't? What? So Michael Jackson would never smoke. He would never, you realize how Michael Jackson died, right? He died on something way worse than weed. So come on, man. Let's not act like Michael Jackson was this person who didn't do anything wrong or anything. And that's why I love Michael Jackson, because he was a human, just like you and I. Like, he was a human being. He made mistakes. He wasn't perfect. And that's what makes me connect with him even more.
One thing that really kind of has always ticked me off big time in the Michael Jackson community, ever since I was a younger fan, is seeing people with sort of a perception of Michael that he was some kind of god-like figure or angelic and perfect, and all these little fan accounts like you were talking about before, like MJ, Angel Wings, 777, all the... I just made that up. I don't know if that's a real
right.
person.
No, that's probably one of them.
That'll be a real account. Yeah, that'll be real. Someone has that.
I guess what I'm getting at, Trapson, do you think there's a danger in putting MJ up on this pedestal as being like this perfect angel-type figure?
Yes, because because when he doesn't meet those expectations, then it becomes a problem. Like, or the real danger with that is that when we're trying to defend Michael Jackson, when times get tough, like Leave It Neverland, when we're trying to defend Michael Jackson, they can look at that person's rap sheet and be like, "Oh, you're just a super Michael Jackson fan. Your opinion is biased now because you don't believe that he could do any wrong." Like, I'm be real. I said, "Yo, Michael Jackson messed up by chilling with those kids. Like, I'm sorry, him chilling with Jordan Chandler and being so open and being so naive, that's what messed him up. You know, he made some decisions that were very questionable, especially his appearance. I've touched on this before. I said the way he portrayed himself, not saying he was a monster, but it just didn't help the allegations he was going through. You know what I mean? Like, at times like that, you need to be looking your best. You can't be coming out in pajamas, you know, with the big wig covering your face when you don't, that wasn't your natural look.
Post-it notes stuck on your face.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? No, that's my man. That's like if my cousin. I love my cousin to death. You know what I'm saying? We grew up together. That's my man. He got my back, got his back. But he go out and do something. He's on trial now for murder, and he's out there shooting guns in his backyard. It's like, bruh, like, you might want to put the guns down for a little bit while you taking this trial, because that's not gonna look good in your court defense. It's kind of like that. And I love my cousin, but you gotta be honest. You can't just say, "Oh, he loves kids." Yeah, we know he loves kids, but don't you think that's not a good look, holding his kid's hand and stuff? And it just wasn't a good look for him. Not saying he was guilty. I definitely don't believe he was guilty. I believe he was sincere, because if Michael Jackson was guilty, he wouldn't be doing this stuff in plain sight. Sorry. You know what I mean? He's not going to be, if Michael Jackson really was messing with little kids, he's not going to be out here holding kids' hands in plain sight while, like that's basically setting himself up. That's why he was so confident, is because he didn't do anything wrong. And he's putting it out there, look, I'm with these kids, I love these kids, that. And, I have nothing to hide.
Well, I mean, in your opinion, how did Michael go from being 1984 relatable, untouchable king of pop to being 2000s post-it notes on the face, being on primetime TV, like talking about, it's okay to sleep in the bed with heaps of kids, all that kind of thing. How did that transition happen, in your opinion?
Well, Michael Jackson was always sleeping with kids. Even in 1984, he was chilling with Manuel Lewis all the time. They was sleeping in the same bed. He was doing that. He always did that. You gotta understand, Michael Jackson always hung out with kids. So in his mind, he just got older, and he got older, but he's still young in his mind, and he's still doing the same thing he would do as if he was 9, 10, 11 years old with his brothers. He grew up like that, sharing beds and stuff like that. So it was never, I saw it was never a problem. It was nothing sexual. It was just, okay, we all watching the movie right now. We got a bunch of us here. The kids can sleep in my bed, and I'll sleep on the floor. Case closed, But in as far as like the look and stuff, obviously the Pepsi burn, that Pepsi commercial is what really messed him up. It caused him to have that big bald spot in the middle of his head. His hair started falling out. It caused him to have to use wigs in the end, and I guess that made him really insecure. You think you go from having that cool jerry curl to now your jerry curl's falling out, and you have to wear extensions. Like for example, the Bad era and Dangerous era, he had to wear extensions to pull off his superstardom look. And then you're on top of that, you're starting to age now. You're starting to be in your late 30s, early 40s. Then your hair's his hair's starting to go a little bit because of the burns. I believe that played a part in his insecurity, along with the vitiligo, the lupus, him being sick, and it just I guess the universe wasn't on his side with that situation. And he kind of had to just roll with the punches, I believe. And he did the best he could. I guess after a while, he kind of got tired. I think every celebrity goes through that, where they kind of get tired of trying to uphold this image of always looking perfect. Like, Michael Jackson used to come out in the 80s. He was always dressed up, always swagged out, shades, glitter socks, the Swarovski socks, glove. It was always a fashion statement, always a show. But toward the later years, he just kind of came out in a suit, some shades and his wig. It's kind of real low key, real cool, not too loud.
Yeah, and a lot of fans don't give Michael a break in that way. Like, when you think about it, that sort of relaxed MJ, pajama pants, do what I want MJ, is like the last 10 years of his life, really. But he had 3 careers before that, since he was a kid in the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, solo. he had been working his whole life. Didn't the guy deserve just to be a dad for a few years? Relax.
Right. He was in his 40s. Like he was like, come on. Like he proved himself that. Look, man, I've given you my whole life. My whole life is a catalog. My whole life of existence is on paper. Is in the music. You have it. You have my whole life. Let me just chill. Let me do what I want to do. You know, and that's why I give him mad respect for just like I'll say. You know, I don't agree with him cutting his brothers off. I think Michael Jackson, his vibe was better with his brothers, but I respect him having to go his own path and do what he wanted to do, because I love MJ with the brothers. I love the Jacksons, period. I love when they get together. It's just something about that vibe that the Jacksons had. Even right now, they're on tour now. I just love the songs they sing and the vibe they create on stage, and just to know that you wouldn't have this Michael Jackson that we know now had it not been for the Jacksons and Joe and, you know, putting it all together back in those early days.
Damn right. We saw them in Australia early this year, actually, and they were still fire. Those guys, you just look at them and you go, was James Brown your other father? Like, you guys you've got the groove, you've got the funk still, and you're like in your 60s or whatever, and you still up there on this festival stage tearing it up. It was a fire set. It was so awesome to see them again. It was so great.
Yeah, right. And then one of my favorite is from the Jacksons, Tito. I love Tito, man. Tito is so cool. He's just so cool. Play his part. He don't say too much. He's like, I'm going to play my guitar. I'm going to sing these low notes and I'm going to keep it moving. I'm not going to be out here trying to be the best. I mean, like, I love Tito and I love all of them. But, you know, Jackie's cool because Jackson was always like that cool dad kind of Jackson. Like, you know, he's like super nice looking, super humble, always smiling. Like, if you ever watch those old videos of Jackie and Michael Jackson or all the Jacksons in the studio, you'll see the look on Jackie's face every time. He's like looking like he's so proud of his little brother. You know what I mean? He doesn't have any envious eyes or anything like that. He's just like, I'm happy to be a part of this whole situation. You know, I'm just happy to be here for my brother. I love that energy. Same thing with Marlon. I thought Marlon was like, I'm mad that Michael didn't bring Marlon with him on the Bad Tour. I think Marlon was one of his best dancers that he ever danced with. Better than any of the dancers besides Pop and Taco on the Bad Tour. And then I thought Marlon was a very, very great dancer, like very close to Michael. Jermaine get a lot of flack in the community. They said he was jealous. I'm like, man, Jermaine wasn't jealous, man. Jermaine he's an artist, you know what I'm saying? So he wants to be great too. He's not saying, you know, F my little brother. He's saying, look, okay, Michael Jackson is the best, but it's not fair because I have my own talent, I have my own voice, I have my own music that I want to get out, but you guys are making it hard for me because you keep comparing me to my great little brother. Like, compare me to me. Like, I'm trying to be me, and the fact that they automatically put him, you know, as a shadow, living in the shadow of his brother. I mean, like, how would you feel? Even though you just trying to do your own thing, and they're like, you're not as great as your brother. You having to hear that all your life, that would kind of make you feel some type of way. So I feel like Jermaine just never got the credit he deserved because he's very, very talented in his own right.
Yeah, Michael never did, like, you know, that song with Pia Sedora. That wasn't a Michael song. That was a Jermaine song, and that was a hit. That was huge. Mm-hmm. You still hear that song on the radio now.
Now, one thing that is questionable is the song "Word to the Bad" that Jermaine performed. I guess the diss song to Michael. But then again, that's between them. You know, that we don't know what happened. Like I said, that goes with Jermaine ain't perfect, Michael ain't perfect. They had a falling out. Jermaine took it out.
Well, he got his feelings hurt.
Well, that song was never even meant to come out. Jermaine, literally, if you read his book, I don't know if you've read his book, but he explains in his book that he actually sung that out of anger in the studio. The producers, I think it was Babyface, he sang it into the mic after an event with Michael Jackson out of anger and frustration, and was under the impression that was never going to come out. And they put it out without his permission.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was working with, Jermaine was supposed to work with these two producers, and it was supposed to be Teddy Riley and them, and then he found that out, and then Michael Jackson went to Teddy Riley, and then, of course, started the whole Dangerous thing. So Jermaine got upset about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Understandable.
Wow. So that now I got even more respect for Jermaine because like you said, that's his little. But they had a falling out. He had to get it off his chest. And you listen to the lyrics. It's not hate. It's just frustration. Hate is be like, I'm better than you. It's my throne. You know what I'm saying? You ain't as great as you think you are. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's just saying like, look, man, you doing this and that. You making me feel this kind of way. I feel like it just felt like he had some pain, but it wasn't. I never felt jealous vibes from Jermaine ever. You know, I don't understand why people even think that.
So I wanted to ask you, because one of my favorite videos of yours is the one where I think you have a few now that you did a few that it's Michael Jackson meets Prince. So could you tell us about some of the collaborations and how they come about?
Oh yeah, I had a homie that he looked exactly like Prince to me. He'd been called that all their lives, and I have a lot of friends that resemble a lot of celebrities, and they've been told this all their lives, and but they never had a reason to have to portray these people. So I like, you know, I'm good at like scouting people out. I'm like, you know, you'll be good for this character. You know, put some makeup on you, give you a little outfit, you can pull it off. So obviously, what made me want to do the MJ and Prince thing was I know you guys probably saw that interview a couple years ago that Quincy Jones had basically broke down exactly what happened behind the scenes of that James Brown concert between Michael and Prince on stage.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments.
Right. that video, I've been watching that video for over 10 years, and I thought that was so hilarious because I'm like, yo, where was this video at my whole life? This is Michael Jackson and Prince on stage at the same venue, and you know, Prince was high as hell.
Yep.
I'm like, yo. And then once Quincy Jones said, yeah, you know, Michael Jackson was, you know, trying to battle him. He basically was trying to be a competition. And, you know, actually after the show, Prince was outside waiting for him and LaToya and try to run him over. I said, yo, I gotta make this a skit, man. This has to be a skit. And my boy looked just like Prince. And so we gotta add, we gotta make it funny, and we gotta like do like what happened in between, what happened afterwards. Let's paint the visual what Quincy Jones said. I want to paint the visual you trying to run me and LaToya Jackson over after this show, and yeah, people really they really dig that video. Yeah, that was and then obviously it's part twos and stuff like that. We try to create our own little scenarios with Prince, like when Michael Jackson breaks into Prince's house and puts an error in his shampoo and his hair falls out. Like, we always trying to cut. We taking shots at Prince all the time because Prince is always shady, taking shots at everybody else. Yeah, but we kind of put those videos on the pause for a while. But yeah, those are clear. I gotta make some more of those now that you guys mentioned that. That was
God, they're so good. They're like my favorite ones.
Right. Yeah, those reach more to MJ fans.
I was watching the one recently where Michael invited Prince to duet on Bad. And Prince was like, nah, man, these lyrics. And he did the trash version about it's like he's talking about LaToya and stuff. That was so
LaToya's
good.
Mine. I'll be beating it right. Ew, man,
I love it.
Yeah, man, because if you've seen the interview, I think it was between Chris Rock and Prince, and Prince was basically saying, you know, who, like, I'm not saying that to you, you're not saying it to me. And I heard from another source that Prince did make a version of Bad and sent it back to Michael Jackson and said, that's how it should sound. Yep. I don't know how true that is or not, but I was like, that'd be funny if we actually like had Prince do his version of Bad and put that up and have it be on some cocky stuff when Michael Jackson really trying to be sincere, collaborate, and Prince try to play him out and, you know, get the upper hand and make fun of him. Yeah, so that was fun.
I think there is actually some truth to it. They didn't. I don't think he ever sent it to him, but I know that there's. I read a couple of his books, and in a few of Prince's books, like multiple people mention that there is another version of Bad that Prince made. So it's somewhat true. Just I don't think Michael ever heard it.
Oh wow, they need to crack open that vault. And let us hear that, because can you imagine if it sounds identical to the version we made?
That'd be hilarious.
About LaToya, mentioning LaToya, and yeah, that'd be cool.
Yo, that would be crazy, man. But you know, God rest both of them, man. You know, that's a shame Prince had left, and that's what I'm saying. That's a whole nother conversation. That whole death was real suspicious anyway. They kind of went out the same way that Michael went out. Basically, they trying to say he went out off of drugs. I'm like, I ain't really buying all that. But that's a whole other conversation itself.
Trapson, tell us about your production team and your role in that. You mentioned before that you do quite a lot in the production of the videos. So what goes in to producing a Trapson short film and soundtrack?
The way I go about making these videos are that I usually have a person, a couple of videographers on set. Hire some guys to shoot some videos, or if it's like a big production, if it's like a little skit, I'll just do it on my cell phone, whatever. But for something like Trapson EO, for example, you get a couple guys out there with cameras, give them a synopsis of what the video is going to be, let them see the vision for it, and then we'll film it. I'll direct it. I have my boy Michael Adonis. He played Scooter in Trapson EO, and he helped me write it, helped me direct it. Cause it's a lot of work, man. People see the video, they think it's just fun. Him act like Michael Jackson and all. It's a lot of work. You gotta get people to rehearse stuff. You gotta get people to get the angles right. You gotta get people to get outfits and locations and stuff like that. And that Trapson EO took about 2 years to finish. Because not straight, because I had to do other stuff in between. But I put it on the side for a while. Took me a year to film it just to get everything together. Stuff costs money. It ain't cheap. Just to film something like that. Stuff like Trapson EO is a lot of effects in that video. It's a lot of acting. It's a lot of music and a lot of dancing. So you have to. We try to combine two films that was filmed around the same time, the same era, all into one little movie. And you're trying to satisfy both fan bases, both the Last Dragon fans, both Captain EO fans. You got to hit certain beats so people feel like, oh, they really, try to do both, all at the same time, because you can't do everything at the same time. You can't give them the whole movie. It's not a remake of the movie. You're just paying homage to both of these films. But yeah, I do all my own editing, do all the sound design. Well, I don't create the sounds from, scratch, but I'll, find different sounds. I'll compose all the sounds together. And yeah, man, it's a pretty precise process.
I mean, I've watched a lot of your videos, but the Trapson EO, when I saw that recently, I was so blown away by the quality of it. Just in terms of the costuming, the sound, the lighting, everything about it was just a triple plus standard quality. It's incredible what you bring to the community, and I think we're all very lucky to see what you're doing. Talk to us about the journey of Trapson EO a little bit more. Like, when did you come up with the idea for it? What were some of the challenges you had as you were putting it together?
Okay, yeah, there was definitely a lot of challenges, but the idea came from just being a kid, and every time I watched The Last Dragon, I've always felt like he reminded me of, I always felt like Bruce Leroy reminded me of one of the Jacksons. He reminded me of Michael Jackson a lot. He had a soft voice, brown skin, curly hair like a jerry curl. He had the moccasins that remind me of the 1984 loafers that Michael Jackson wore during that time, and you can see his white socks. So I felt this guy kind of reminds me of Michael Jackson a little bit. And if you watch Captain EO and you look at the behind the scenes, you realize that Captain EO was shot in 1985. Last Dragon came out in 1985. It's very similar eras. And then what is Michael Jackson doing to Captain EO? He's fighting, negativity with his music. He's using his music to change the world. And then I'm Michael Trapson. My whole theme is I got the glow. I'm glowed up. I'm all that. If you watch The Last Dragon, it's the man with the glow, Bruce Leroy. He got the glow. I'm like, that's perfect. What if Michael Jackson was Bruce Leroy? What if Michael Jackson was in The Last Dragon? That's a good idea. I could actually do that now. And I could be and people say, I kind of look like Bruce Leroy anyway in my face. So they're like, yeah, you could be Bruce Leroy without even with Michael Jackson. You just be Bruce Leroy. I said, how about I be both? I'll be Michael Jackson and Bruce Leroy. You know what I mean? Be Michael Trapson EO. And I said, you know what? When I get the glow, I can transform into Captain EO. And it was just one idea came after the other. And I was like, I'm about to mix all this stuff together. So yeah, I had to try to hit certain beats from both movies. Obviously, when Bruce Leroy sees Show Enough. Of course, we call him Glow Enough. And these people are all like, first, these guys are all dancers that I found, at little dance studios, just going around, checking out just different vibes and stuff in Philly. Ran across this tall 6'4" dude who's just out there just dancing. And I'm like, wow. I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, I can use you to be show enough. Put some hair and makeup on him, and this guy was good to go. All I do is give these guys a little direction and tell them, you know, what we're doing, and they just love what I'm doing, so they always be excited about doing these little projects. But yeah, the challenges for Trapson EO, man, it was that first day was hard. We thought we was gonna get everything done in the first day, and it didn't happen. We basically only got half of what we wanted to get done that first day. I had to rent this warehouse out. You know, you gotta pay for insurance. You gotta pay. For these things. They're not cheap. So, but I guess the owner of the warehouse saw that he realized that I didn't get everything I wanted done. He saw a look in my face. During the last hour of filming, I was depressed because I felt like we wasn't gonna get everything done. And I wasted all my money on my time. We still got a whole bunch of scenes to film that requires this one location. The owner was he saw my look in my face that I was like, kind of sad. So he was like, you know what, man, just come back any day this week, man. You can finish anything you need to finish. So I was able to go back and finish more scenes at that warehouse. So that was God on my side that time, man, because I was like, man, I was depressed. I almost felt like quitting. Editing the whole video took a lot of time because there's a lot of effects, and I don't know if you guys know about editing, but you got to do certain effects. You got to do frame by frame by frame, and that stuff can take hours. And it's only me doing it all by myself. There's no big team, or there's no office where this whole thing gets chopped up at. No, it's just me in my room and my mind and my hand on this computer, chopping everything up over and over again, watching over and over again, doing the sounds, and trying to put it all together.
I'm blown away because it's so big. I thought there would have to be editors and special effects people coming in to, you're paying other businesses to do the special effects, and it's that big. I'm just blown away. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, I taught myself how to do all that stuff for this project, because I used to work on my actual laptop, and then I was like, you know what, I need something with bigger power. So I bought me a iMac computer, and I downloaded Premiere, downloaded After Effects, watched tutorials on how to do all the special effects. So I was learning as I was doing this video. So this it's not only a project, but it's also like a learning experience at the same time, like how to do all these effects. And I just wanted to make something that the MJ community could really be proud of. And like I said, we don't have, and that's the sad part about being a Michael Jackson fan, is we don't have anything. Well, not that we know of, that we don't know. There's no new music that Michael Jackson can record right now. Michael Jackson is not here to present us with anything that's new in its own right. I mean, the state might drop something that was recorded 20-something years ago, and it'll be new to us. But Michael Jackson's not putting out anything anymore. So I guess it's up to us tribute artists and us MJ fans to kind of continue giving the community product, whether it's you got this podcast right here, or the show, the MJCast, whether it's this, talking about Michael Jackson stuff, keeping people updated, tributes that go out there and perform, to give them that, that Michael Jackson experience. People who vlog and do, have channels dedicated to Michael Jackson. It's really up to us to keep the legacy going, because without that, it'd be a very, very miserable situation in the MJ community. The MJ community wouldn't be what it is without people like us, creating and inspiring.
So true.
Take life one day at a time. The masters are calling you from inside. There may be trouble that lies ahead, but if you struggle, just use your head.
Hi, I'm John Barnes, producer, writer, musician, and arranger with Michael Jackson. Make sure you pay attention to the MJCast. It's great.
How do you finance something as big as Trapson EO or the vibration video, New Vibration? How do you finance something like that?
Vibration, that didn't really cost that much because I got videographers that, they don't charge me too much, but it's a fair price. I try to make sure people, get enough money and stuff for what they do. Then we shot that in a day. Like those kids you see in the Pepsi commercial, those are all my little cousins.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it was like we made our own little block party basically. We illegally blocked off one of the streets, but people they'll see some cones and they'll see a tall guy looks like Michael Jackson. They don't think twice, especially in Philadelphia. There's nobody knows. They're gonna be like, "What? Do you have a permit here?" They're like, "No, we just gonna go the other way, or we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it a little bit. It's entertaining to watch." And yeah, like some of them kids came out. Some kids came out from New York. I told them about it. There's my little Trapson fans, and they really appreciate what I do. And their parents brought them out to be in the video. Like the one little kid that it zooms in on that's drinking the Pepsi, he hit that surprise look when he sees Trapson. And I think that video was one of the most special videos because it was a lot of love in the air on that set. And all my cousins that brought their kids, they were kids when the Pepsi commercial, the original Pepsi commercial came out in '84. They were like, yeah, it was funny because we were their age when the video came out, and now you're using our kids, remaking that video. It's like deja vu. It's amazing, man, and it's a beautiful thing. You're bringing these kids together for a positive purpose and not just remaking the commercial. You're trying to let kids know that you need to stop drinking soda. It's going to ruin your brain. It's going to ruin your body. It's going to ruin you in the long run to keep drinking this stuff. But you need to drink more alkaline water, not just regular water, but alkaline water that's good for your pH system and good for your blood. So yeah, man. But EO that was a little more expensive, but but you don't pay for all at once. You do it over time. That's why it took over the course of a year of filming and then another year just on and off of editing. But mind you, I had to put out videos like Look at My Tap. Those MJ and Prince videos came out. A lot of those Michael Jackson in the studios and Quincy Jones diss tracks and a lot of Dirty Diana. All this stuff came out in between the Trapson EO project. So it was always something in the background that I was working on, but I was also trying to flush out other content as well as living my own life, man. I'm not Trapson 24/7 either.
So when you're funding these projects, I know that a lot of people use YouTube AdSense to gain funds for these projects. Do you ever have a problem with that? Do you do okay with the AdSense, mainly because of since you are it does fall under parody what you're doing? A lot of other channels are having problems, getting their funds because of copyright claims. Do you ever have a problem with that?
No, because not for Trapson EO, because I've made sure that every piece of audio that I use in there wasn't like it was either remade or it was like cut from scratch, because I couldn't risk even like the part of the El DeBarge parody that you saw in the Chinatown scene briefly. It was the part when I was in Chinatown. You've seen on the TV where I'm acting like El DeBarge. Even that 10-second little instrumental had to be. It couldn't be copyrighted. It had to be a remake instrumental, different key, different note, kind of, but very similar to the original. The Trapson, the Captain EO, that was totally remade from scratch. A lot of them, we did a lot of remake music, so in different little keys, different little compositions, so they couldn't, you can't copyright it. I mean, yeah, so it's not copyrighted. It's not. I'm not gonna get striked for that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Also, your new Vibration video, it truly pays homage to the great Victory Jackson's era. How did that tribute come about?
Man, I've always wanted to do that commercial. I kind of did it in the first Billie Jean and I Dad parody, like the if Michael Jackson was a trap rapper, whatever. If Michael Jackson made trap music, like back a couple years ago, we did like a quick little part of the video where like the guy bumps into me and I turn around. Whatever, he had the red jacket on, and the funny thing about that part is that guy actually looks like Alfonso Ribeiro grown up. So that's why I'll put him in the video. I'm like, it'd be fun if you actually like bump into me now. You're like a grown man, and he looks like Alfonso Ribeiro. And he played Carlton And if Michael Jackson was in the Fresh Prince, I don't know if you guys seen that one, but he played Carlton on that one too. That idea came about because I've always wanted to do. I always thought a commercial was cool. You know, it's 1984. It was a no-brainer. It was okay. The Pepsi commercial was 84 era, victory era. I need to remake this commercial. It's real quick, real simple. And I was going to do it a couple years ago, but I didn't have all the resources I needed. All I had was Pepsi cans. I didn't have the right kind of jacket. I didn't have the right outfits. I didn't have the right loafers. I didn't have the right kind of hair. I didn't have anything. I just had an idea that I want to do. I even had an instrumental. I just had an idea. I was like, I need to, make this happen, but I don't have anything yet. But sometimes great things take time.
Well, it paid off because it was an awesome, awesome birthday tribute.
Absolutely.
Right. That thing did better than Trapson EO.
Which is crazy.
I mean, Trapson EO was fine, but this was shorter, it's straight to the point, and it has a way better message. You know, and I'm just happy that one it did over 500,000 views and it's still growing. I know at some point it's gonna get 1 million views, and that's cool, man. I'm glad that people are catching on to that. I'd rather have that have more views than Trapson EO or some other stuff, because that's the kind of message I want to promote to the kids. Positivity,
Trapson, let's change gears a little bit and think about the reality of being a Michael Jackson fan since he passed away in 2009. How do you think, or what do you feel about how the Michael Jackson estate is handling his legacy posthumously?
That's questionable. That's tricky because I'm not sure. I feel like they don't really know what to do. They don't know what to. They don't know which. They need somebody like us to come up in there. They need more MJ fans, not just fanatics, but MJ fans who get it and who get what MJ fans want to see. They need to stop playing around. They need to drop all the footage that we want to see. And I asked my friends, why don't we have any high quality Destiny and Victory? No, high quality Destiny, Triumph, and Victory tour. Really Triumph. There's no high quality Triumph anything out there. Full tour, 4 concerts. Where's the Victory tour full concerts that's in HD? History has the most clearest version, and I'm not trying to hear that. Oh, it was filmed in the 80s, so it doesn't have. No, because you have stuff filmed in the 60s from the Jacksons that's clear as day. People can remaster footage easily. That's not a problem. And they have HD footage of the Victory tour. If you look at the one they had on MTV a couple years ago, and it has the whole. How you ever seen that video where it's the Victory tour montage and they playing Billie Jean?
Yeah.
And they the girls yeah, I wish I could be a left hand white glove. Nobody be like Michael Jackson. He's the king, So stuff like that. I'm but it's filmed like an early 80s movie. It's mad. It's super clear. It sounds good. Michael Jackson looked like he's in Crush Groove or something on stage. Where's this full concert at? Why haven't we been able to see this? We get little snippets and little VHS quality concerts from back then. But if you look at the Victory Tour promo, they was basically saying there was a whole camera crew responsible for making sure you get everything on camera. Every show was recorded. So where's all this footage at? Why don't we have it? Why they need to start putting that out there? There's more. We've seen all this stuff a million times. I think that's something us fans can looking forward to. To seeing more content. And, that'd be good for us. We can learn more moves.
And the thing that's so funny is that, the MJCast has been doing this for quite a while now. And they ask these questions. And almost everybody says the exact same thing. Where are these things? And why can't they do what we want? It's so it's not like it's a uncommon thought throughout the entire MJ community. It's that's why I just don't understand who is there that just doesn't get it or doesn't want to get it.
Because at the end of the day, it comes down to money. And they go, okay, we put it out, how can we make money off it? How can we capitalize on the most money we can make off of it? Or they'll put it out when they're in desperate need of, attention. When the whole Wade thing was going on, everybody's turning against Michael Jackson. What happened? They put out, what was it, the Bad concert or something like that on YouTube?
Yeah. Free footage. Go watch it on YouTube for free. A Bad tour concert.
Where was that at?
What the fuck?
Yeah. We've been asking for that. Fuck? Thank you. I watched it, appreciate it, but where was that the whole time?
Or what we saw yesterday was the Michael Jackson estate announced their first official product since the whole Leaving Neverland thing happened. and it's a commemorative edition of This Is It film. I think it costs some ridiculous amount of money. Certainly over $500. How much is it, Jankins?
I thought it was like around $300. Am I wrong?
I'm not sure, but
it's like $300 or $400 US. So for us, that's like $700 or something.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Ridiculous amount of money, and there's nothing new in it. It's just all a commemorative edition of This Is It stuff that's already been released before. But I mean, this is a film that's made up of footage of rehearsals. Michael Jackson was literally killed because of these rehearsals and the way he was treated in them, and they're celebrating that again 10 years later. That's not what the fans want at all.
I mean, granted, it was cool to be able to see, Michael Jackson in his last days and see how he's performing, how the show could have been. That was cool, but like you said, man, we want to focus on more happier times, more happier grooves. There's tons of footage back then, and it's all about money. They just want to catch. They taking advantage. It's been 10 years since This Is It came out, but it's also been 40 years since Off the Wall came out. Drop some of that footage from the Destiny tour. That last leg of the Destiny tour. When it's doing all Off the Wall songs. It's about to be 40 years since the Rock With You video, since the Triumph tour happened. Drop some of that. We need some clear footage ASAP, because fans getting tired of seeing the same old. Like, we're tired of seeing history. We're tired of seeing Dangerous. Let's go see more of it. Give me some Jackson 5 stuff. Like, give me all that. Give me. I want it all. It's my Michael, and I want it now. You know what I mean? I want all the glow, man. Give me all the footage. It's there. Like, why? Like, it's like he's been gone for 10 years. Like, okay, like, are you gonna give us some new songs? Or like, give us something.
So what about the songs then? Because the songs that come out are usually remixed reproductions by current producers. What do you think about those things that come out?
Oh, they hit and miss. Like, some of them are groovy to dance to, but it's like, Michael wouldn't have made that. So it's like, that's just your version of Michael. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's like, it's fun. I like the unreleased songs from like Bad, unreleased songs from Thriller that came out a few years ago. I like stuff like that to hear, like, the songs that didn't make it to Thriller, like Hot Street, Carousel, Got the Hots, stuff like that. I like hearing songs like that. Or Night Ride? No, Nightline. Nightline, yeah.
Love that one. That one's got the glow.
Right, and that has 1982 all over. It has early 80s. It really could be 84. It sounds like it was ahead of his time. 82, because people was kind of still on that, coming off that disco vibe still a little bit. Because, the Triumph era, and that's another. The Triumph album is a very underrated album, man. Like, it's so underrated that even a lot of MJ fans who love Michael Jackson don't even know about that album. I'm like, you never listened to the Triumph album? No, I never heard. I kind of missed that one. I'm like, it was right in between Off the Wall and Thriller. How could you miss it? The Jacksons. Oh, yeah, that's y'all. So okay, listen to that Triumph album. Now you'll start finding your glow. You got songs like Heartbreak Hotel. You got songs like Can You Feel It? You got Lovely One. You got Walk Right Now. That's one of my favorite songs from the Triumph.
That's one of the best. That is hard. That is a hard-hitting track.
And they performed it in the Triumph tour, but they don't have any footage of it. I mean, they have footage, but they ain't put it out. I saw somebody sent me. You guys follow that page, Triumph Tour 1981 on Instagram?
No, but I'm going there soon.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah,
writing that down.
There's a page called Triumph Tour 1981. They post everything Triumph Tour stuff. And at one point, they sent me a clip. It was like 5 seconds of them saying, "Walk right now, I ain't playing." And you're like, yo, I'm like, they performed this? And then it was cut short. I was like, no, where's the full footage of this? Oh, I can't show you this. I'm like, man, if you don't send me this footage, bro, like, I need to see all that, man. Like, so there's footage of these songs being performed. It's probably gonna be some footage of PYT being performed somewhere. There's footage of that. They need to drop it and release it.
This is an awesome Instagram page. I'm looking through it now. It's got heaps of stills as well, photos from behind the scenes of the Triumph tour.
Yeah.
Man. This is my new favorite Instagram account.
I love
we will link that in the show notes, folks. Link that in the show notes.
Wow.
Thanks for that.
That
Trapson.
is awesome.
Oh yeah. I try to stay connected with the with popping in the MJ community, man, and I'm always trying to reach out to everybody too, like just to let people know that I ain't some egotistical tribute out here. Like I never try to let anything change my morals and stuff like that, man. Like I always try to, be in the community. I'm not trying to be above the community, but be in the community. Cause you got some guys out here that do Michael Jackson. They think they just hot stuff, man. They think, I've been a Michael Jackson tribute for 40 years, and I'm the best. And that's one thing that pisses me off with some of these tributes, man. I'm the best. Like, no, you're not. Sit down. Michael Jackson's the best. You ain't the best at nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, I hate some of these guys, man. They be divas. I'm cool with a lot of them. I love a lot of them, but some of these guys, man, I can't stand. I was like, yo, like, why do you even put on the loafers, bro? It's like, you should do something else if you're trying to be competitive. Like, this is not a competitive, it's a tribute. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here can eat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can have their show. You know what I mean? You can never have too much Michael. You know what I mean?
And what's their names?
So
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh no! I'm pretty sure if you in the MJ community, you probably already know who they are.
I've probably interviewed a couple of them.
Yeah. I spent, countless hours on perfecting my crap. Man, shut up, man. Sit down. Sit down with that crap, man. Have fun, man. Because in 20 years, you're going to be washed up and there's going to be some new kids coming up. Mm-hmm. Same thing for me. In 20 years, I can't be Michael Trapson or a Michael Jackson tribute forever. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a shelf life. Everything has an expiration date. So the best thing you can do is to be kind to people, show love. Appreciate what you got, have fun, and keep it moving. Like, that's another topic, man. That's the part that kind of makes me be like, I need to be more of an a-hole to some of these guys because you guys don't have, like, not to be cocky, but you guys haven't done even a fraction of what I've done or had a fraction of an impact that I've had on the MJ fandom, but you guys are acting like you're Michael Jackson himself. You acting like you made Thriller. You acting like you Michael. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm like, bruh, man, I will drop one person because I don't care. I don't care. I don't really care. There's one dude. I don't know if you guys see my video back. I did a tribute as OG Kano to Michael Jackson maybe 6 years ago or something like that, or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think I know that one.
And I'm rapping. And I had this Michael Jackson tribute play the character, like play the image of Michael Jackson, the spirit of Michael Jackson. I'm dancing with him and stuff like that. His name is like Mickey J. This dude going, I thought he was, mind you, I met this guy when I was 10 years old. 10 years old, right? And I look up to him, to me, he was Michael Jackson. I'm like, yo, this guy looks like, I never knew impersonators existed. So I met him. I said, wow, you're amazing, and I took a picture with him. My parents kept in contact with them, and they work with them from time to time. Fast forward, fast forward about 10 years to 11 years later, I see him again. Like, whoa, I haven't seen you in a long time. Remember this picture? Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Cool. I said, I'm doing a tribute for Michael Jackson. I want you to be a part of it. Oh, sounds good. I'll do it. He came out, did the video. It was all good love, all good energy, all cool. Fast forward again to me becoming Trapson. Now he looking at me like competition. So this, instead of being like, I saw that video, man. I'm happy to see you doing good things, whatever. No, this guy blocks me.
Wow.
Blocks me out and says that, he thought I was in competition with him because I started doing Michael Jackson too. I'm like, dude, you like 50 years old, man. Like, you had your, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. Like, this dude been doing this since back in the 80s when, he was doing Victory back when Michael Jackson was looking like Victory. I'm like, man, like you had your time, bro. Like, do you realize you're not the only Michael Jackson impersonator, not even in my area? Like, there's people, you ain't the only Michael Jackson to exist, man. Like, I'm just paying homage to you, bro, because, I respect you and I wanted to, do something for Michael, like, but it ain't about, you're not Michael, you know what I mean? You're not Michael Jackson. Like, if I want to do Michael Jackson, if I want to do a tribute to Michael Jackson, that doesn't mean I'm trying to compete with, Rodrigo Teaser. If I do MJ, I'm not trying to compete with E. Casanova. I'm doing MJ because I want to do MJ. You know what I mean? You guys are not MJ. You know what I'm saying? Now, me doing Trapson, that's in its own lane. That's why I like Trapson, because nobody does Trapson. There ain't nobody trying to rap as Michael Jackson. So that's our own category in itself. Same thing with, Santana Jackson.
I don't think so.
You guys know y'all seen Santana, the DDT Moonwalk dude?
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, he normally does like the wrestling rings
Jackson.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, that's my bro.
Right.
Yes. And what I like about Santana is that he the same thing I did. He took Michael Jackson's character, mixed it with something he loves to do, and he brought Michael Jackson into the wrestling world now. Now he's wrestling as Michael Jackson, pushing the legacy even further out there. I could never have thought of that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So now it went so far to that the actual WWE stars were doing his move on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, where the chick was doing the DDT moonwalk.
That's awesome.
I'm like, wow, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what us MJ fans are out here doing. We're reaching WWE.
Trapson, I think I saw in one of your live videos, the ones that go for about an hour or something, I think that you mentioned sometime that, I don't know if they were channels or something, have asked you to perform as Michael in sort of skits and stuff, but you found what they were asking you to do disrespectful and you turned it down. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I had some creators. I definitely want to drop any. I don't want to drop any names, but I had creators that asked me, yeah, let's do something that involves, babysitting, and we'll have we'll have you be the babysitter, but we'll make it look like okay, no, we shouldn't use him to be the babysitter. Like, stuff like that alluded to, we don't want this guy to be the babysitter because his past. Like, stuff like that. I had people trying to ask me to do something where, like, I'm insinuating that I'm, trying to molest kids, or just like typical nose falling off stuff, or me trying to play myself out saying certain things like, yo, I'll bleach my skin. This stuff like that. You know what I mean? They try to make it not even fun. It's not funny. It's not in good taste. It's obviously people who are not really Michael Jackson fans. They wanted to make fun of him, and they wanted me to be the face to do that. I'm like, nah, hell no. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to make fun, it's going to be on some fun. It's going to be funny. It's not going to be, I'm trying to really like paint Michael Jackson to be a monster. Like, not in that sense. If it's a monster, it's going to be something like Thriller or the It parody. You know what I mean? And Michael Jackson was a monster. Have you seen Is It Scary? Have you seen Ghost? You seen Thriller? He turned to a monster. Like, you're making Michael Jackson a monster. Well, cool. He wanted to be a monster. Michael Jackson loved horror movies. Like, what are we talking about?
So, Trapson, you're dropping a few of your favorite MJ things there, talking about some of the stuff that he's done that you love. Let's take that even further. We want to find out exactly your favorite MJ stuff. So we've got a list of things here to go through. First of all, I want to know what you think is the number one best Michael Jackson album and why. I think I can guess which one.
Oh, yeah, it's Thriller, no question. Thriller. I mean, of course, I love some of my other favorite songs are on other albums, but Thriller is the ultimate package because it has my ultimate favorite Michael Jackson song on there, which is "Wanna Be Starting Something." That's my favorite Michael Jackson song of all time.
Me too.
Yeah, it just puts me in the mood. It puts me in the same groove every time I listen to it. I can listen to it over and over again. It puts me in a magical place because it has "Wanna Be Starting Something," Billie Jean, Human Nature, Beat It, Thriller, The Girl Is Mine. PY. It just has the total package of a dope album and a dope era for Michael Jackson. It was a really it's something about that, the production. It had a really magical sound, that early 80s, grit that it had captured in Michael Jackson's vocal cords back in those days. Just the performance that go along with the whole era, the era behind the album. So that makes it kind of like, kind of magnifies the album, it makes it even better. So yeah, the Thriller album would be my favorite.
All right. What about your favorite Michael Jackson video or short film, should I say?
See, that's what that gets tricky. I can never choose one, man, because like growing up, my favorite Michael Jackson video was Black or White. I thought that video was the coolest video growing up. I think now it's hard, man. Well, short film, I'll just say like Thriller's always gonna be my favorite. Thriller's gonna be my favorite because not because it's still an era, not because it's so typical. It's because it's a horror movie. I love horror movies, especially early 80s horror movies. Like, I'm a big fan of Halloween, the original, 1978. I'm a big fan of Halloween. I love Friday the 13th. I used to watch all those werewolf movies like The Howling and stuff like that back in the day. I just love that early 80s horror feel. And that's what Michael Jackson captured with, they all captured that in that movie. And Return of the Living Dead. You guys know that movie? Return of the Living Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Return of the Living Dead. I love stuff like that. Man, I love those old school zombie movies. So I'm getting Michael Jackson in a zombie movie. That's how I look at it. So that was definitely my favorite of all time.
I think I'm going to be able to guess this, but what's your favorite MJ look?
It's when he was 6. No, I'm playing. No, we could be. I mean, I can say victory. We could be specific. My favorite look of Michael Jackson specifically. You guys know the Victory cover where he's like kind of doing the shush sign. He has the it must have been backstage of the Victory tour. He has like that greenish, pinkish white jacket from the Victory tour, and he's saying he's like shh, he had to get the hair slicked back. That's my favorite look of Michael. That's my favorite MJ jacket. I don't have it yet, but I'm going to find out how to get it made. I know it's going to cost a lot of money, but I want that jacket. I love that look. He looked cool as hell.
I got to see that jacket at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles.
For real?
It was it was many years ago. Let me try and think when it was. It would have been about 2010.
Wow.
2010 in that Grammy Museum exhibit. That jacket was there, and I was blown away. The detail in it, it just does not come up in pictures. Like, you think, oh yeah, that's like a silver jacket with some green sequins and big Swarovski crystal. No, that's not even silver fabric. That's like tiny little beads. I'm like, that thing would have weighed an absolute ton. It was incredible.
I'm looking at it right now on Google. Yeah, you're definitely right. Wow, this is it's in California.
It was. I don't know where it is now, if it's still at the Grammy Museum or not. People, let us know. Send us a tweet, send us an Insta post or something. But yeah, that was a pretty special jacket to see because it is incredible.
Right. I need to get a replica of that jacket ASAP.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Because I ain't ever seen nobody try to replicate that jacket. And there ain't no sites this is... You could tell. That's another thing. You could tell Michael Jackson's jackets were all made with serious love, man.
Yeah.
Like, just as much as Michael Jackson put into his music and craft, these people put into his jackets, man. That same level of love and energy went right to his jackets.
So also, what is your favorite tour of Michael Jackson's?
Oh, come on, man. You really got to ask that one?
I had a feeling that I knew what it was going to be.
Well, definitely Victory Tour, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Victory, and then Bad will come second, and then third would be the Triumph Tour. Only because I haven't seen too much of the Triumph Tour, so I haven't seen like too much good quality footage. But the Victory Tour, hands down, the best. Even though the Billie Jean breakdown wasn't as extended, but still, it didn't matter because it was the way Michael Jackson did his moves. People think, oh, he didn't have all the moves yet. No, but it was the way he did the moves he did have is what I like. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality of the moves, the quality of the man that we're watching. And he's singing at the same time live. And his voice was perfect on that tour. So I get an all-around good package. The only thing I wish I could have had from that tour was better sound audio, which the estate need to drop that. Fix that, get that done, get that situated, man. We need that good audio quality and good video quality Victory Tour.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing I wanted to ask you that I forgot to ask earlier was, speaking of the singing and dancing that he does on tour, which one do you think is more difficult to pull off when you are actually performing?
Well, they're doing that both at the same time. Like that's the magic of Michael Jackson. If you're gonna sing and dance with 100% energy, going like you're not, Michael Jackson gave all he got. So when you're pulling that off at the same time and you're looking cool while you're doing it, come on, bro. That's the magic, man. Like Michael Jackson did that effortlessly. So yeah, but nowadays you don't even have to sing live. You can just have an audio playback, and that's what MJ did during the History Tour, but by that time he had nothing to prove anymore. He already proved to the world that he's a star. He already did everything. So now he can just sit back and and just kind of run through the show and just perform all his hits. But can you imagine if history was sped up like how the Bad Tour and like Victory were? Like, can you imagine Stranger in Moscow sped up to Victory tempo?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I was wandering in the rain. That'd be kind of hot though. You know what I mean? But he would have passed out for sure. It's too many songs. By that time he had too many songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole new generation. They throw a shade up on my name. Can I break this magic for your dime? I'm on the ultimate vibration. Got the vibes of what I do. You better kill those cancerous vibes. Get some alkaline in you. Hey, it's a whole new vibration. Can't touch the globe. Get your chin check today. Just keep it real. We don't play those games. Get your chin check today. Keep it real. We don't play those games. It's a whole new vibration. 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 You know this is a new vibration. You know this is a new vibration. Because we're all a new vibration. This is a whole new vibration. It's 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 a whole new vibration.
Hi, this is Brian Loren, songwriter-producer for Michael Jackson, and you're listening to Jamon and Q on the MJCast.
So obviously, Trapson, it's been a pretty difficult year for Michael Jackson fans. We've had Leaving Neverland. It's been probably, apart from 2009, I would say this would have to be the most challenging year I can... Well, no, I mean, there's the 2003 was pretty tough too, but this is one of the most challenging years as a Michael Jackson fan I can remember. And I guess I just want to ask, how have you coped this year? How have you looked at it and gotten through it?
Like I said, we've been through this before, so at least we had preparation all the last 26 years of dealing with the media trying to go against Michael. I've been dealing with it, but just taking it and throwing it right back in their face, like with the skits we did with the F Wade. If Michael Jackson was the next Friday when he was like, had the gun points of Wade Robson's head. We just fight back this time. We don't act soft. We attack. And now we have social media. We use our platforms to spread the truth. I had Brandy Jackson on my YouTube a few months back, and we kind of talked about some things and just keeping it real on my channel. She's spreading her truth about her uncle and just keeping it real, man. Because some people they don't know. They haven't done a research or anything, and they can believe whatever they told. But so it's just important to understand. You gotta be strong and don't get so caught up in what's happening right now. It's just because these stories is all for shock value. Michael Jackson raped these kids. That's shocking. Not Michael Jackson is a good person. You know, that's not going to shock anybody on, you know, the news. So you have to understand it's all propaganda. It's all to get a reaction out of you, the MJ fan. They want to get a reaction out of you. They want to get you all rallied up to make their story more popular. So now, for the future, what we got to do is when something like this happens, and everybody has to kind of be conscious of this, when a news story comes out that says Michael Jackson did this and that, don't say nothing. Don't react to it. Don't retweet it. Don't post about it in your stories. Don't be like, you see this? Don't do none of that. Ignore it. Act like it didn't happen.
It seems like that's exactly what the MJ estate is doing right now.
Yeah. That's what the MJ estate is doing, but that's not what the people are doing. People are reacting to it. But if you don't react to it, if you just ignore it, like if everybody collectively did that, man, there wouldn't be no stories no more because they only do it for a reaction, and reaction equals currency. So that was the whole point. Now you see what happened. I called this out a while ago. I said, this is going to happen. They're going to run with this whole Neverland stuff for a while. It's going to be the big thing, whatever. They're going to try to cancel Michael Jackson. Everybody going to be kind of riding that wave. Oprah, everybody going to ride that wave. Then once that simmers down and that story kind of gets old, the news story is going to be, the accusers were caught in a lie. Oh, plot twist. You know what I'm saying? That's the news story now. Yeah, that's the era we on now. You know, of these guys were lying. Duh, we was trying to say it the whole time. You guys wasn't listening. So it's all for shock value. That's all it is. That's why I never take it that seriously. At this point, we're preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying? We all know Michael Jackson's innocent. Put the information out there. Okay, cool. But our main focus need to be on the groovy stuff. You know what I mean? This is exactly why I became Trapson in the first place, because for years, all I was seeing all I would hear about if Michael Jackson's a pedophile, Michael Jackson was on drugs, Michael Jackson died, you know, Michael Jackson's surgery. I'm like, yo, whatever happened to when you heard about Michael Jackson, it was all about the music and the dancing, like how incredible he was. It wasn't none of this, you know, controversy. Like Michael Jackson ended up being only famous for turning white and for the whole allegations. That was the biggest stories you'll see about Michael Jackson in the last, let's say, last like 20 years. Those are the biggest stories. The other, like Michael Jackson, you know, giving up to charities, and Michael Jackson healing kids and all the good he's done. Those don't make headlines. All the BS makes headlines. So I'm like, yo, I don't like that, because I remember, I wasn't around, but there was a time where Michael Jackson only made headlines for his music, his product, his art. You know what I mean? And that's got lost in the 80s somewhere. That stopped happening in the 80s and maybe early 90s. And that's why I want to get back. I said we need to focus more on the art. I don't want to hear about the sad stuff anymore, like the stuff they put on TV. The next film, I don't want to see a searching for Wonderland or whatever. I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see that. I want to see something happy. We all know, everybody knows that what happened at the end of Michael Jackson, and it all came crashing out. Give me a film dedicated to a dancer's perspective, somebody who danced with Michael Jackson. Give me a biopic like that from a dancer's perspective. You know, like give me a movie about how it was to be Lavelle Smith Jr. or something like that. That would be an interesting movie. Dancing with Michael. You know what I mean? You get to know how it was to be in a position of a dancer in the 1980s, being on the biggest, you know, show of all time. You have somebody a Michael Jackson tribute that can pull off the bad era look, and you kind of go through this life of how Michael Jackson would be, the Michael Jackson the performer. We don't want to know about Michael Jackson. We don't want to dive too much into Michael Jackson the person, because that leaves some more controversy. We just want to focus on the art. Focus on what he was most famous for, what he's supposed to be most famous for. You feel me? That's the movie I want to see. Not from the security guards talking about him in blanket and all that, you know, pop. Like, we don't want to see all that. We want to see how is it on stage. The stuff the most important, the stuff that made Michael Jackson the happiest. Michael Jackson was the most happiest on stage, and the music make him more happier. Make a movie all about that. You know?
Just got some news headlines in. Branca, you're fired, and Trapson, you're now in charge of the estate. Well done.
One thing I've always thought would be neat was, like, I'm always talking about how could we portray Michael Jackson correctly in a movie because, you know, of his changing states. Have you guys seen the deep fake stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scary.
It's completely terrifying, but I think that would be like a neat way to portray Michael in a movie, because there's hundreds and hundreds of hours of him, doing interviews throughout his entire lifestyle. And all they have to do is analyze all that footage and then put it onto a character on whatchamacallit. I don't know. While we're talking ideas, that just popped in my head. So
that's a great idea. That's a very great idea. I saw a video of if Jim Carrey was Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Yeah.
Bro, it was spot on.
Yeah, it's nuts what they can do.
Now, if they did do something like that, that'll make it 10 times easier, because then you can have, somebody like in a trial area. I don't mind being a white person playing Michael Jackson when he was white, because that looks more natural to me. Like when they try to do a Navi in Searching for Wonderland or Searching for Neverland, and they like he just you could tell he was black with just white makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, Michael Jackson at the time was pale, man. Like, he didn't have any color. Like, there's nobody black out here looking like that. So now it takes me out the movie. I want to see somebody that looks like, give me a white guy for that era and just deep fake his face to make him look like, like Michael Jackson. But he still has to look somewhat like Michael Jackson, so the deep fake doesn't look all out of place.
Yeah.
Because, especially with the estate involved, they might get lazy and make this thing look like a real CGI fest.
Oh, God.
And start looking crazy.
I can't think
it
of
start looking terrible.
Yeah, that'd be
and then
scary.
With all this talent we got in the community, you can have Jeffrey Perez play the voice, like the singing vocals of Michael Jackson. We have all this talent in the community. It could be multiple people playing Michael Jackson at the same time. Like, you can have your guys doing the stage performance of Michael Jackson, and you have your guys doing the acting parts. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they need me in the cutting room for these projects.
So as we get to a close here, where do you see yourself going from here on?
That's the thing, man. I don't have a particular goal. Like, there's no the particular end for me. This is kind of like all this stuff kind of happened by accident. So this is like still like a ride for me. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm just enjoying the ride, and whoever comes from it, it'll just come naturally. I met some of the most coolest people in the world, doing this stuff, like the whole MJ Avengers, and just people I come across just from, just relationships I built just off of Trapson alone. Like, it's crazy how that happens. So I just want to keep continuing to make MJ inspired videos, and maybe I might be a director or something, man, because I'm already directing these films and stuff like that, and I kind of like being behind the camera, man. So you never know, you might see M. Trap Shyamalan films.
That's awesome.
We've got a question here to wrap up with, and we ask this to every special guest that comes on to the MJ Cast. How should Michael Jackson be remembered, Michael Trapson?
Michael Jackson should be remembered as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. He should be remembered for his legacy, his music, him being a humanitarian, his love for the world, and he should be remembered as he was. He was straight to the point, man. He cared about the world, cared about the kids, and he should be remembered as one of the greatest people to exist in this world, to give us his life and his legacy. And it should always be positive, nothing ever negative about that.
Brilliant. That sounds great. And of course, we have so many listeners that will want to connect with you even further now online. So would you be able to share what your handles are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at Michael Trapson Official. They finally verified my page now, so you see the blue check mark there. You can follow me on YouTube. It's Michael Trapson. Just type in Michael Trapson, my channel will pop up. Facebook, same thing, Michael Trapson. That's MACHAEL, just like Michael, and then Trapson, TRAPSON. Trapson of Michael Jackson. Ha.
So somebody got to your Michael Trapson on Instagram before you did, or did you just go with official?
Yeah. Some kid had it like a while ago, and he didn't want to change it. I think he changed it now, but Instagram just randomly verified my page one morning. I was like, oh snap! I got the check mark now, so I might as well keep it.
That's pretty dope.
All right, Trapson, thank you so much for sharing where people can find you online. That's awesome. Our listeners are going to want to find you for sure. And of course, if people out there want to continue connecting with us as the MJCast, we are at the MJCast on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can find our website at themjcast.com. We love it when people listen to our show. We are a podcast first and foremost, so you can find us on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're all over the interwebs. Just search the MJCast. You can track us down. We do news and discussion on Michael Jackson. We do special interviews with people who knew and worked with the King of Pop, and of course, people who do great tributes as well, like Michael Trapson. And of course, we're very lucky to be here today with Jankins, another host of a great Michael Jackson podcast, Moonwalk Talks. Loved the recent episode on Star Wars, Michael Jackson being a Jedi. Jankins, where can people find you online?
Just Jankins with 2 eyes on Instagram. And then my podcast is Moonwalk Talks. It's a Michael Jackson podcast where we find the theories and fun facts about Michael Jackson. And Trapson, I just want to tell you, man, I do want to say thank you for what you do, because it is awesome to have a positive, fun, entertaining representation of Michael Jackson out there, instead of, like you would say, sometimes having just only talking about the problems. And so I want to say thanks for doing that, and I hope that you do continue to keep that fun positiveness going out there, okay?
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you, man, for getting it and appreciating it.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, you can find me at moonwalktalks.com. That's my Michael Jackson podcast. I put out an episode every 7 years. So
oh, snap. What's the Instagram?
Mine is Jankins, which is Jankiins.
Okay. Music band, ex-rapper. Michael, here you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
That's me.
That's him. And Jankins, of course, he's the OG. He was the original Michael Jackson podcaster. We're like, we came in on his coattails.
And then they destroyed me.
And here you are. Now you're on the show. Again. Well, guys, this has been really awesome. This has been so much fun. And I really hope some people go and head over to Trapson's YouTube page and give Trapson EO some love, give New Vibrations some love. Go watch some of the funny, the parody stuff, the comedy stuff, the stuff with Prince. Check it out.
Buy the merch. It's really cool looking.
Buy the merch. There's merch. We need to get more videos from Michael Trapson, so buy some shirts, folks.
Yes, sir.
But Michael Trapson, thank you so much for not only giving us the glow and...
Pause, I ain't give you the glow, man. I give all the girls the glow. I don't give guys the glow. You know
all right, I'll give the guys the glow. You give the girls the glow. It'll all be good.
Man, whoa.
There you go. But thank you so much for your awesome videos and your awesome tributes. They are super entertaining. And yeah, I think Michael would have dug it a lot. So thank you so much for what you do.
Oh, thank you guys, man, for holding down this podcast too.
That's what we do.
You're welcome. It's what we do. We do what we do. And again, Jankins, thanks, man. It was great talking to you.
Oh, you know I love you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Love you too, man.
But I'm gonna wrap it up now. So this is Q signing off. Michael on.
Have a great fortnight ahead. We're going to see you guys with another episode soon. Keep Michael.
MJCast.